Rangers from the Deep Blue, and welcome to my spoilers review of Finding Dory. If you haven't seen the movie yet, click here to watch my non-spoilers review or in the link in the description below. But let's get right into it, and let's start with a moment where I lost my manhood, and that is right here. Just look at freaking cute baby Dory. I mean... So she's now the neighbor to Marley and Nemo. You see her waking them up constantly in the middle of the night until they have to really wake up, and they go into the school, and she becomes the assistant for one day to Mr. Ray as they go on a field trip. They watch the migration of the rays, which is, by the way, something beautiful. This shot right here just shows the quality of animation along many other shots that I'll put right here or here during this review. But this shot right here is something beautiful to look at. I would paint this on my ceiling. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And then we see Dory having those first flashes of memory back into when she was a little girl. And we start seeing her parents and how her parents dealt with the fact that she had short-term memory loss. And we start seeing the lessons that her parents taught her, and those are some beautiful lessons building up to the fact that these are great parents and represent the best way that you can be a parent. These are some of the best parents not only Pixar but Disney has ever done. And we'll talk more about the parenting in this movie, how it's represented, by the end of the review. So Dory gets close enough to the current that she gets taken away, but that they found her. She has only passed out. She wakes up and she now wants to go and search for her parents. Marlin takes a little bit of convincing to do, but with the help of Nemo, Dory finally takes him on the trip. And I like how they didn't waste a lot of time traveling the ocean. These guys have traveled the ocean once. They've crossed an entire ocean. The entire planet wants to get Nemo. So they now know the fastest way to get around. And so they go right away into the East Current. I can't remember the name, but they go into Chuck and the Turtles, and they get taken into California to the Marine Life Institute. And I like the little cameo of previous characters from the movie before. They didn't have much to do, they were just there to make a tip of the hat to us fans, but they didn't spend much time there. They didn't need to, and we got right away into our story. Dory immediately gets captured and she goes into quarantine. Then she starts looking around in the Marine Life Institute with the help of Hank, played by Ed O'Neill. I love this character. I like that they didn't play around with the fact that, will he go to Cleveland? Will he change his mind? What will he do? What is Hank all about? No, they didn't play with that. The character just wanted to go to Cleveland, that's it, but he's going to help Dory because he needs the tag. And so Dory goes into the tank, she finds Destiny, her old friend, she finds Bailey. I really like a relationship with Destiny a lot. I think these two had great banter, and you see that them both have their difficulties along with Bailey, and that's why they were in the Marine Life Institute. And these animals, and these sea animals, need to be rehabilitated to go into the ocean once more. So I like that we found characters that were relatable to Dory and made us understand more about her through them, and that was really a nice play by Pixar. So then Nemo and Marley are on the outside and they meet these seals played by Dominic West and Idris Elba, and they were freaking hilarious. Then this ugly unibrowed seal comes into the rock and they shoot him out, and then they have this connection with some birds that go around that area, and they find Becky. And my friends, Becky, she brought the tears out just like Dory did, but in a completely different sense. Becky is that animal that just cracked me up, the way that Marlin had to sync with her, and you see her eye because she can only look at him with only one eye, and you see the eye becoming one and seeing Marley clearly, and she picks up the bucket and takes Marlin and Nemo into the Marine Life Institute in it. Becky is just a genius idea. I think Becky is something, oh my god. I laughed so much at Becky, guys. The world needs more Beckys. That's all I gotta say. It's genius. The character when she's eating the bowl of popcorn. Ah man, I laughed so much. The tears were out because I was just laughing. She was freaking hilarious. So by this point, Hank is with Dory and they're in this baby cart and they're going around the park searching for the open ocean exposition, I guess that's what it's called. And they eventually go on the other way and they get into the touch pool. And the touch pool is like a scene straight out of a horror movie, because you have those pools in water parks and marine life institutes that you always go to as a kid and you enjoy going to that pool and touch the little fishies. But yeah, this kind of makes you see how the fishes take that. They don't want to be there. Besides the starfishes, the other ones are something I've never seen before. It really felt like a horror movie. And then Dory gets the paint out of ink and they finally find her aquarium after that, and again, I would paint this on my ceiling. Just this shot. Look how beautiful that is! But this right here was not only that moment where they find the aquarium, but also Hank starts seeing something in Dory. And right here, as well as on the perspective of Nemo and Marlin, we start seeing what would Dory do? How does Dory think? Let's trust Dory to do something and let's let her do things the way she does them. Right at this moment, we are also seeing the flashbacks from her parents teaching her the lessons they taught, showing her getting to her house just by following the seashells alone. And we see Dory starts learning something. And as we see these flashbacks, I thought they were very, very good for character construction throughout this movie. And we understand why she thinks these things. From the first movie, we understand why she did certain things by showing us these flashbacks. I thought it was really good. Then Hank drops her off at the aquarium. She goes, and I immediately thought her parents were gone because this is Disney and they don't like parents to be alive. So then Dory throws herself into the current once again. She gets outside, and it was very scary when she was in those mini aquariums with other fishes of her species, and with Marlin and Nemo and Hank waiting for them just to get them out before they go into Cleveland. When Marley just drops amongst the silence that was filling the screen, "They're dead, Dory." I was kind of shocked. I was taken aback because that came too suddenly. Sometimes they don't say that directly and not so abruptly, but that scene was filled with silence. No one was talking. There was no music. You see Dory just processing her thoughts about what might have happened to my parents since they are not here, since they haven't been seen since I was gone. And Mari just drops off, "They're dead." And so Dory after that goes into the ocean once more, and this is one of the most beautiful shots. These several paths of seashells leading into this little house, but it almost looked like a shrine for Dory to find it. And Dory gets near it, she looks on, and on the back, coming through the darkness, we see her parents with even more seashells constructing the way for her to find them. And that reunion was just beautiful. I understand if some people are taken aback because it was just a little bow tied up, but we don't need her parents to be dead. I didn't feel the need to destroy this character even more. And we see this reunion, and then they have to go save Marlin, and Nemo are on their way to Cleveland. And so Bailey, Destiny, Dory, and Hank go out into the ocean. Bailey and Destiny jump off, and they go after the truck that is already on the highway, and Bailey is locating it through its echolocation, and they go on and on and on, and then they found a bridge. They maybe have a way to rescue them finally. And this is the moment where we are ready to lose our manhoods again, and we see the otters. Oh my freaking god, the otters weren't used much, but we had a little bit of foreshadowing with Dory and Hank as they go into the baby stroller around the park, and they see the otters having their hug party, and Dory prepares something with the otters. They get into the highway because humans will stop for something cute. And when the otters got into the highway and they started the hug party, my theater just covered itself in awes, and myself included, no shame in that. The otters were like the most freaking cute thing I've seen since Baby Dory. Cuteness overload. And so the humans stop, they almost crash into each other's cars, and the guy from the van gets out, and he tells the others to get out of the road. Dory and Hank and Becky go into the back of the van to rescue Nemo and Marlin. They rescue them, but Hank, Dory, and Becky get trapped in the van. They go along, and suddenly Bailey, Destiny, and the others don't have a chance at rescuing them because there's no more water to go after the van. Hank drops himself in the front of the windshield, and the humans stop. He takes over the van, and he goes in the reverse direction. And that at first did take me aback, but just the overtopness of it just made me laugh. I didn't care. I understand if somebody cares. Please don't take me wrong if I laughed at an octopus driving a van in the reverse direction of the highway. The way the shots worked, the music, how they were acting in that scene, it was over the top. It was not to be taken seriously in any way. So then we have the police with those things that will kind of make holes in the tires, and Hank drives off a cliff, and we see the doors of the van opening up, all the fishes dropping off of their boxes, and Dory and Hank and Becky as well. But in that moment, I was ready to look at that scene and, okay, they're safe. But What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong starts playing. I died. I died in that scene. I couldn't be laughing more than I was at that moment. And we see all the fishes dropping in the water one by one. We see Becky and her bucket flying off. We see the seals anxious to get their fish, but then comes a big fish and they get dropped off of the rock by that big fish. Animation wise, it was also really great to see. And then Dory's parents and Marlin and Nemo meet, they hug each other. Dory's parents thank them for taking care of Dory. And it ends in a nice little bow. We didn't waste time with anything else besides our story, and now we see Hank is replacing Mr. Ray just in this particular situation back at home. And we see Bailey and Destiny are also there. Destiny doesn't have to worry about walls or rocks anymore because it's open sea. And we see Dory's parents live there as well. And Dory's parents are some of the best parents I've seen all year, maybe. The lessons you see them teaching, the way they constructed the character around their parents' teachings were great. These parents, above anything else, worried about her daughter and the problem she has, but at the same time they tell her and show her that she can do anything she wants, even though she has that disadvantage, let's say, that special need. And I think that's a great way to show kids, you know, maybe a brother or sister, a daughter or son, you have a little cousin maybe, a son of your friend, a daughter of your friend, a brother to your friend. It's just a great way to show that these kids, if they ever feel bad, don't. Tell them they don't need to feel bad. Show them they don't need to feel bad. And show them this movie if you have the chance. Tell them they can do anything. They are different and that's not bad. And even if doubt themselves, don't. Because even normal people, I put it in bunny ears because we are all normal people, they don't need to doubt themselves, they don't need to be afraid of trying, they are capable of doing so. I think Dory's parents are some of the most inspirational parents we've seen in movies this year. Some of the best parents in Disney history, hell, I'll say it, best parents in Pixar history at least, and maybe in Disney history, I'm not afraid to say that. All the characters worked. The character of Dory got this movie and she was constructed around the character that was shown in Finding Nemo and the character that evolved in this movie. I like that we didn't waste time with old characters. We saw Mr. Ray, cool. We saw Crush, and it was cool. Bye. See ya. Let's get into the story. This movie was fast-paced, it was funny, it was charming. I like that Marlin and Nemo continue to grow. We see how Nemo has grown since the last movie as a character, and Marlin as well, but he shows fear still as a parent, and that is normal. This parent, even after what happened and what he learned in the previous movie, he will still be afraid, maybe even more so, but he will let on to others and what the others are saying and what his son says more easily, as we see in the movie. And Hank was just a great character. Yes, he had his motivations to go to Cleveland, but I like seeing how he stays back. We don't know his motivation. Maybe the next movie can be Finding Hank. Probably something like that. I don't care if we get a third movie. Of course, if we do, I will go see it. But Finding Dory absolutely worked for me. I love this movie. It is in my top movies of the year so far. By the way things are looking, I'm probably going to be screwed to make my top 10 best movies of the year. It's going to be a tough job. But what did you guys think of Finding Dory? Did you like it? Did you not? Do you think it's better or worse than Finding Nemo? Do you put it in your top 10 Pixar movies ever? Let me know all of that in the comments below. And as you go down there, give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't to the little button below the video box, and of course, there are links to my Facebook and my Instagram in the description below. Click those links and stalk me on the internet. The Q&A is still ongoing, so just hashtag Legend of Tarzan Q&A in the comments and let me know any questions you have for me so I can answer them in the Q&A next month. It doesn't need to be questions about Tarzan or the particular movie coming out. Just ask me questions about anything you want to know. Of course, in a few hours after this video, I'll upload my special announcement in which I will count on all of you to help me out. Hopefully, it might be something that does work out, it might be something that doesn't work out, but I just want to count on you guys if you can help me. Of course, tomorrow morning there will be a review for Game of Thrones Season 6, the infamous Episode 9 Battle of the Bastards. And if you haven't heard, there will be a link to my previous video right here. Thank you so much for watching my spoilers review of Finding Dory. Let me know all your thoughts in the movie in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't, what did you like, what didn't you like? Do you want to see a third movie? Do you not? And if you do, what do you want to see in the third movie of this possible franchise? Right here is a link to my Finding Dory spoilers free review. Again, if you haven't subscribed, by clicking the little button below the video box, give this video a like and a share, show it to your friends and tell them to join our beautiful geeky community and we can be geeky, united. Of course, I will see you in all the reviews coming this week and the week after and all the special videos coming to the Geekness Overlord channel. Cheers!